Okay. Yeah, I want to welcome everybody to Unconventional Wisdom, the Micro Moments / CSE podcast. And it's every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Uh, Randy's not on yet. I don't know. I didn't hear if he was going to be on or not. Keith is here, and Mike is here. Tony is wasn't able to be here. He had a meeting he had to go to. Anyhow, I want to welcome everybody. We've had a cold day here in Texas. That's why I've got on my Stetson cowboy hat. It's like 33 degrees or something like that, and not very good. And Marcus is here. Marcus is always behind the scenes there somewhere. And our engineer been with us for years and years and years. And he'll be helping when we start doing the new masterclass here in March. He takes care of all it's online and in person too. And so he takes care of both of them. And takes care of the online portion. So it's been a lot of fun. Not a lot happening. It's interesting here. Just came across the wire on Apple. Apple is a lot of the stockholders are suggesting that they start renting the cell phones instead of selling them to even out the income. Instead of have up and down sales all the time, just have all the subscriptions. I thought that was kind of interesting. You need to go to our website. www.micromomenttrading.com, and you can subscribe to our Cal Report, which is free, and it's been published now for around 20 years. And it has also detailed descriptions of everything we do, the seminars we offer, the classes we offer, just everything, what they cost, a good description. It also has, you can subscribe to the Cal Report, which is free, and in that you see all the emails that people send to us over all these years, and our answers, the answers from these gentlemen, and just all kinds of stuff in that Cal Report. It's really a good tool. Okay, we're going to start off here with Keith, and Keith does our trading and our seminars. Some of our seminars. Go ahead and describe all that, and go for Keith.
Yeah, Joe, just another thing, though, too, that the seminar descriptions are on the new website, but if you want to sign up for the website, you have to go to the old one right now.
Oh, right now? Okay.
Yeah, you can't sign up for it on the new one, so you go to the CSE website.
Okay, one more thing, too. For those that are tuned in here, we really would appreciate if you want to ask us something, just type in, Mike, is it easy to use that YouTube and type in any questions and stuff, answers? Okay. And we'll recognize who you are, or not. You won't be video, but we'll answer your questions and go from there. We really appreciate that kind of feedback. Okay, Keith.
If you comment directly to YouTube, it'll show up for Marcus, and you can display your question to us.
Okay. Yeah, I run the weekly credit spread platinum service, and we look to do credit spreads as well as credit spread momentum, CSM trades that going on there. We do a webinar every Tuesday from noon to 1:30 East Coast time, or 11 to 12:30 Central time, and where we go over the charts, go over the rules of what we're looking to do to both enter and exit the trades, as well as talk about any trades that we're in or that we were in the last week. It's a chance to also ask questions about exactly what we're doing and what we're trading. I also run do the 2-day seminar, which was last weekend. Do it about once a quarter to go through the description of the credit spreads and what they are and how to trade them, as well as the CSM trades.
Yeah, I just got
we had a nice time this last weekend.
Go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, had a nice weekend last weekend, but one of the biggest things that came out of that, there's a lot of exchange of ideas too there, and one of the clients has been with us for quite some time, asked a question about the CSM trades that I'm doing, and one slight tweak on that, because I've had a hard time getting in, it's just been going up and down so much, but one slight tweak to that trading, I've gone back and started doing some modeling on, and it's just it's night and day difference on what I had been doing before. So once that gets going, we'll start trading that on my weekly credit spread service also. And I'm around for questions if anybody has questions on those too. So.
Okay, great. I just had a text from Randy, and he says all his power has gone out. He's in Atlanta, and all his power's gone out, and so he has no internet to be able to be on the podcast. So,
Oh, okay.
if it comes on before we finish, I imagine he'll come in. But if not, we shouldn't expect he's going to be here. That's Randy.
If I could cut in for a moment, we had a cool interaction with a client today, Sam. He messaged in the middle of the webinar and said he closed out a triple Q micro moment put from 73 cents to 79 cents in 90 seconds. And then a couple minutes later, he messaged in and said, it's been a great day for CSE techniques. With the micro moment trades he did, he also closed an MRK momentum from Randy for 5%, and then an Apple overnight mod CPR for 6.1, and then a 4% mod CPR on KO over 4 days. So really good example of somebody utilizing all the techniques, and it's great.
Yeah, it's interesting what the macro moment session one this morning. We have two sessions, one in the morning, one, and sometimes one in the afternoon, depends on what's going on in the market. But they made 64.33% today, and they made in the second session yesterday 6.5 and 2.4 for 8.9%. So you add that to I always add it to the day because I've already sent out a report before they do the second session. So it gets up to 73.27 for today in the second session yesterday. And so we're going to be way over 100% for the week. Really, 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 really easy. So
at the start of the webinar, Joe, I just did a $1 to 103 put on Apple. So
yeah. There you go. Would you send that to me? Now, when their sessions, like I said, they have a morning session, starts at 8:30 when the market opens Central Time, and usually ends at 9:30, 9:45. And then they'll come back for a second session if the market warrants it. But their trades last anywhere from 7-8 seconds to a minute maybe, and sometimes longer. You shouldn't be in one longer than that. And they do tremendous, and you get to follow them. They have the chart up there, and you get to see them explaining when they're entering a position. They prep it. They enter it based on what the chart's doing, and they get out based on what the chart's doing. And it's really a fast trade technique. Keys is just as profitable. Keys last longer. They're not quite that intense. Many of his trades were just in the course of a session, but not like in the seconds. And Keith came to us years and years ago on the master's class presentation, which we're going to be doing in March. We take a 2-day seminar, Saturday and Sunday. People come in. We have a big cocktail party on Friday, and a big dinner on Saturday night. But we pick out 3 or 4 of exceptional people that are our clients, and everybody does something a little different. So it behooves people that attend that seminar. They get to learn how other people are doing these, following our rules, and how they're adapting to their own particular trading style. It's really, really a great seminar, and we've been having that seminar forever. But anyhow, when Keith came, he had, in anticipation of coming to the seminar, he was keeping all of his statements from his broker, his online broker, and he was trying to hit 1,000% return in the course of a year. Was it a year, Keith, or a shorter period than that?
No, it was a year, Joe.
A year. And then he actually showed the actual brokerage statements at the seminar, 1,000% using our techniques. Just incredible stuff. So, and he'll be at the master's class that we have this year, this March also, as will Micah and Randy and Tony and myself. So it's kind of a little ad for the master's class. We haven't put anything out on it yet, but we'll be online and we'll be in person here in Fort Worth.
Yeah, Joe, those are always so fantastic that you get to meet the clients and other clients and get to share ideas and all. And usually the presenters are really, really amazing on some of the stuff that they've been doing. And some of the things are not what you would think about doing. And so it's really I highly recommend being able to attend that, particularly in person if you can.
I can just keep doing those trades over there. Yeah, it is. And it's like people can visit with you, and it makes a big difference when you're visiting, not so structured, but you're visiting people at those kind of events. Like they can meet you, And they learn so much more than just attending one of your seminars. Because there's other people around, and we don't have all we're not perfect, and a lot of people do better than we do. And so we find out all the time, that our clients are doing things that we've never thought of. They're using our essential techniques, but they've got one little twist to it, one way or the other. If you want to, be sure, and like Micah said earlier, if you want to ask us a question today, just type it in there. If you're watching YouTube, it'll pop up on the screen. And Marcus, be sure and check and see, because I think you have to transfer them over. So you might keep a lookout there if anybody.
Yep, nobody yet.
Okay, very good. Okay. What else we got going here? Micah, you want to talk about? I kind of in there and talk. Didn't let you talk a whole lot there.
Definitely. No, it was
Sitting there doing things.
This week was actually great for Micro Moment in general because it was very slow. We had a lot of consolidation times and not many trades per se, but we ventured into actually showing trades for companies that we've never talked about before. So we did live trades on Microsoft and IWM. We've never traded Microsoft live on the webinar until this week, and got to talk a little bit about other stocks and how to trade really anything you want, whether it be Walmart, Netflix. You could trade a lot of people on SPY right now. So and that was due to Apple earnings. Apple at the money current week option was like $5. We like to trade $1 or less. So at the money was like $5.30 with a 30 delta, just wasn't tradable. So it provided a lot of insight on things we don't get to talk about very often because earnings is 4 times a year. It doesn't happen much. But today Apple snapped back down to $1, $2 at the money. So we were able to do a lot with that. Today, really great trades, nice volatility. So it was just a great week overall for questions. A lot of really engaging questions on our new question box that we just opened. And then tomorrow we're really excited because we are starting up. We're talking about this with Joe last Friday, but we're starting up we're going to call it hands up, I think, something like that, a hands up section on Friday, where you can raise your hand in the webinar and actually get unmuted and talk to us in person. So we did it for the first time last week. Nobody really knew what it was. So we're going to explain that a little more. And I think that'll be another really good way to add value to all the clients. So
Chuck just sent in you want to read this?
Yeah, just getting started. Looking forward to hearing this. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Up here in Colorado, it's 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, yikes! Not out here.
Read Martha's there.
Oh yeah, another Martha. She did amazing, by the way. I think she had 3 trades that were over 10% today, so she's absolutely killing it. I want to again thank Micah, Tony, and Joe for their help with micro moment trading. When I follow the rules, I make huge gains. When I don't, the losses can be just as big. I'm still new and learning. A lot of understanding of losses this week for people. People are really, understanding why they're creating losses, and it's really admirable because if you're learning from somebody, it's easy to say, "Oh, you taught me and I lost, so it's your fault," and they're just not doing that. Everybody that reports a loss is just like, I didn't follow this rule or it stayed in too long. And they're really owning that, which is, they're going to make great gains in the long run if they keep honest like that. So going really good.
Yeah, we're into that. The 26th week tomorrow ends the 26th week since we made that a subscription service. We've been doing it for several years, but not as a service. And over those 26 weeks, it's way around 3,400%. It's like over 140% a week of the gains. And if you only get 6% a week and you only got $2,000 and you never put every penny in, that $2,000 at the end of 2 years, 24 months, is going to be worth over $800,000. And you could just simply then, you make it 6% a week, take one 6%er and that's would be $48,000 to say that's my salary, and then let the other three keep riding and then keep compounding. Pretty soon you got millions of dollars just for $2,000. It's huge. Yep. And you can do the same thing with Keith, and you can do the same thing with Randy. Randy's not here, so I kind of talk about what he does. Randy has been around the longest. He's does traditional covered calls and various variations of traditional covered calls. Leap, which is you trade like a covered call. It's a leap, so you get infinite leverage without having to borrow money, without having to margin anything, because margin can be death, absolute death. Yeah. Hey, there's a Peck. I'll read Peck's. Peck. That's one of the huge differences between CSE/MMT and other services. Other services don't dare let the subscribers, these subscribers to their services meet, communicate with each other. That, I hadn't thought about that, Peck, but you're absolutely right. And we do that all the time. We have not only those 2-day seminars and the master's class and the other 2-day seminar. And so our people get to mingle quite a bit. It's always a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. And we really appreciate you too. You can say stuff about Peck. You know how Peck's trading really personal there.
Yeah, Peck is our local news anchor, we call him.
Why do you call him that?
Because in the question box, he always lets us know when consumer reports are coming out, like anything scheduled for the day, the FOMC thing yesterday, he let us know about. So he's always on the ball.
Yeah.
He's part of the team, basically. So
yeah, well, good. Well, Peck, what you're talking about too, we like the people. We don't try to isolate them. That's what's good about the Cow Report, which you can get for free if you go to the website www.micromomenttrading.com, and you can subscribe for it free. It comes out every Friday, and you'll see we publish every letter that somebody writes to us, every email somebody writes to us, good, bad, or indifferent, and you can see what people are doing. And when they have questions or they have problems, you see our folks answering them and getting them straightened out. So, but okay. Usually Randy goes on and on how wonderful he is, and it's good he's not here because I can just make it real short what he does. But he does real good, and Keith too. I think Randy's been around a little longer than Keith. Yeah,
he has been. Hey, Joe and Micah, though, I'd be a little cautious about calling it a hands up section. It'd be like you're being held up or something.
Oh, that's true.
It's a lot of fun. And the hardest thing is people will put their hand up and they've never done that before. And then their mic's muted on their computer. And so we pick them up and they're not there. Finally they discover that they're muted. So that's Friday, because that's tomorrow we do that. We'll have to be sure to tell them to make sure the computer's on.
Yeah, let's open up a little brainstorming session right now live. If you guys have any ideas for name of the section, put them in the comments on YouTube and let us know what you think. Basically, the concept is, you raise your hand on the question platform, we can unmute you and have a full conversation just like you're one of the presenters.
Yeah.
So, with some ideas, because we're not that creative over here. We're more focused on the math and technical of it all. So. Yeah. If we have any creative minds in the crowd,
or if somebody wants to type it in now, they can type it in right now.
Exactly. Let us know right now. Let's delegate, outsource.
Okay, here's a note from Randy. His cell phone still works. It says my micro moment trade on SPX today was 17.6%, 48 seconds. My platinum covered call positions for last week were Amazon 4.1%. Microsoft 10%, GLD 6.9%. Each was for 1 week. Returned all capital as well. So he's not only doing the micro moment, which he did SPX today, which is a great one to do micro moment trading on because it's got such fantastic volume. But he made 17.6% on it in 48 seconds. Now that's incredible, And then his other trades, his platinum covered call positions, those were traditional covered call positions, but they were only a week long. It used to be when that service started over 20 years ago, or 20 years ago, I guess. The trading platforms were terrible. You had dial-ups instead of Wi-Fi, and what we have now take for granted. It was just really a mess. And over all these years, all the guys up in Chicago, the CBOE has done is improve everything and help. We've never had to change anything. All they've done is improve the ability for our people to make more money. And now what's happened is, well, I guess the last year or so, used to be all covered calls expired on the third Friday. And we started off trying to make just 3.5% to 5% once a month on the third Friday. That way, $10,000 would turn into like $2.5 or $3 million over the course of 10 years because of the compounding. And now they no longer have just third Fridays on many of the stocks, not on all of them yet, but they add them almost every day. They have weekly Fridays. So every week you can close out a deal. So you can make 3, 4, 5% a week. So now you're making 20, 30% a month instead of 5%. That's what I'm talking about. Things have changed. It's so much to the good, so much better than it used to be. You remember Keith back in the old days?
Yeah. There's on my seminar this weekend, at least as of April this year, there are 484 weekly options available now.
There you go.
Different things, and some of them, like SPX, they actually have 3 a week. They have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's assuming they don't throw in the quarterly ones, which will come in, let's say, on a Thursday. You may have 4 of those in a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's just incredible stuff. And again, our technique, it's so well founded, and it's so rule based, and it's based on our charts. When we spent millions of dollars on those crazy charts, and they tell you when to get in, when to get out. And Keith uses them, a little different version than what Micah and Randy and Tony do. Here's a question from Chuck. He says, "Is there any plays following an IPO for a new stock?" No, we don't. We don't really keep track of IPOs for new stocks.
Not currently. The reason for that, I was going to try some things on Uber, and I had never looked at an IPO from an options perspective before. But based on where they're listed, the NASDAQ has different rules. Let's say then there's a certain amount of time before you can even write options on the stock. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks from an IPO, and then sometimes it's 3 weeks to a month after the IPO comes out that anyone can even write options. But at that point, a lot of the stocks are at $30-$40, and the option volume just isn't going to be there. It would have to be a stock technique, which we don't do as much of. We try to pick options, but
if you think about those IPOs, you never know how they're going to go, and they can really go up and down. And actually, the technique, the micro trading, would be good for that because it doesn't make any difference which way they're going. Or if you go try to do a covered call, let's say the options were out, you're doing a covered call on a newly listed company. You can be doing a lot of management because you have that one tool, this covered call management tool, which you don't have with the micro moment trading. And Keith has all kinds of management tools. But the micro moment, it doesn't make any difference if it's going up or down. So if it was a company that was, not doing that well, they weren't going to still make a lot of money, but they're not going to have options out there to start off with. So, but that was a good question. And again, the technique would work good for that, but they just don't have anything out there on an IPO. So, Martha, raise your hand. Now that's original, right? I think, didn't you say all hands on deck? Pat, that's a good one.
I like all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna call it hands up. I might not. Yeah, it's gotta be punny and catchy. I like all hands on deck. It's very
that's good. That's good.
Morbid, but still fun loving. I like it.
Again, that was Peck, right?
Yeah, Peck.
Yeah.
We'll have to give him credit for that tomorrow. So, what else we got going here?
Joe, the other thing which we haven't talked about specifically, we talked about rules a little bit, but we have 3 charting tools that are that CSE has developed over the years, and they're just fantastic on helping predict the momentum and direction of the tick. One of them being the advanced chart that was the first one we put together with Ed. Quite a few ICE charts, which are great for the micro moment trading, the very quick turnaround things. And then I put together a thing a couple of years ago called the CSM charts, and they're just fantastic for really determining tick direction and all.
And you can rent. You can rent. Yeah, you can rent those things monthly from the websites, and that's another important thing to go either to. We still have the CSE website up, and micro moment. Everything's on the CSE is on the micro moment chart. One day it'll just be the micro moment /CSE website. But like Keith said, if you want to subscribe to those services, you've got to go over to the CSE, www.compound.earnings.com, and sign up for those seminars that hadn't been transferred. The sign up hadn't actually been transferred yet. So, Mark, all hands on deck is great. There you go.
Yeah.
You appreciate it.
I like that.
But we've got some people just in all these. Randy has them, and Keith has them, and Mike and Tony have them that are just really doing incredible. We have one fella that he doesn't work very long on these micro moments in the morning, and then he goes and just has coffee. Was he the one that went to the beach?
No, that was the coffee guy is Sam, who I mentioned does all the techniques earlier on. The one that went to the beach is Tim. That was a cool comment. He wrote in today and said he was he made like 2 6-cent gains, something like that, and said he heard the beach calling because they were in the I forget where they went, but they went on a vacation, which he mentioned was paid for by his trading.
By the trading, yeah.
And we really highlighted like that's the whole goal, to be able to make money trading, go on a beach somewhere, wake up next to the water, open your laptop, make some money, close it, enjoy your day, and just the accessibility of it too. We were talking about like internet cost after you left, Joe, like how many, what type of speed of internet and all that. And even in spite of that, the internet and the computer you get and all of that, if you think of it like a business, the overhead is just so low.
Oh, it's almost done. And besides that, we forgot that most people still don't realize that virtually all the firms still have no commissions. They still have a transaction fee, but they have no commissions, and that's huge. It just came. I've been predicting for years, and then a month ago, all of a sudden, interactive brokers.
Yep.
And then the rest of them, just all the online ones, just within a few days, they were all in there. And then Goldman Sachs goes to no commissions, and Merrill Lynch has a version of no commissions, but it's not really a good version because Merrill Lynch doesn't do anything good. But it's not really no commissions because they got a bunch of screwy things in there. But and they'll all be. And also, I think I mentioned it maybe last podcast. Goldman says that they're having to redo their whole business because now with no commissions, they can't afford to have all these expensive brokers sitting around. People are doing their trading online; they're doing it themselves.
Yep.
Because they have that ability now. Before, brokers were in their heyday a long time ago, before the internet, because you had to have a broker to buy a stock. You couldn't just go out there and do it.
Yep.
And now that's changing. So the whole world is changing. And again, I think we've got the best programs like Mike and Tony's where you can work, maybe an hour a day, make a fortune. Keith and Randy's totally different trading. If you don't want to, trade, have to worry about trading seconds, you can still go back and do a traditional call, buy a stock, sell a call, and wait until the third Friday before you expire. You know exactly what you're going to make. You've already got your money in hand, and you just sit around for an entire month and don't do anything. And if you get called out, you buy another stock. If you don't, then you manage it using all our management techniques, which enables you to continue to make your, let's say, 5%, which you sold it for originally, the original call. And you still make 5%, even though the stock has dropped substantially. And the stocks go up and down. And if you subscribe to our toolbox, we have all the tools in there for you to manage those positions and make money regardless of the direction it goes. So, micro moment, you don't have the ability. You have no management tools for micro. You get in, you get out. And if it starts going the wrong way, you just get out quick. And a lot of times, Tony and Mike have gotten their losses when it doesn't go right down to like 1.5%, 2%. I hadn't seen one over 2% forever. And so they really got it down. And I think that's one of the biggest things we talk about though in micro moment trading is knowing when to get out and knowing when you're staying too long. And like Micah and Tony talk all the time. You let the trade come to you. What do you mean by that, Micah? Explain that.
I mean, letting the trade come to you has a lot to do with how we handle losses. It's a prioritization. It's not that, like, there are so many 1 and 2 and, cent losses and flat trades that would have been positive. But our goal is not to, even though this is a ridiculously aggressive technique, we already know the potential of it as it is. So we don't need to push it, right? We did 100 and something % this week. We don't need to push for more gains. There are so many trades that are tiny losses that could have been gains, but that doesn't matter. We don't open ourselves up to any possibility because we're focused on letting the trade come to us. And if you think about the time frame of a 20-second trade, we had, and this isn't just our trading, like the high level trading. This is every client in here had trades today that were 14 seconds, 16, 18, 19 seconds long. If that's the trade. That is fill your entry to fill your exit. So if it's not going right, like if it's not actually moving in your direction, you'll know within 10 seconds if you should still be in it or not. You can always re-enter. You can always take another trade because there's so many out there. I mean, we do 8 to 10 trades a day, and it just takes down this importance of, this trade has to be a big win, so I'm going to stay in. Just don't. All of that mental is out the window. And when you let the trade come to you, like there were trades when right after you got off, Joe, that I literally looked over and I was like, I got to get on the podcast. I'm not going to trade anymore. And I looked over and I was like, I have to buy this.
It was coming. The trade was coming to get you.
Exactly. Like it literally it convinced me to get into it. When you're working with this type of time frame, if you forced it, 5 seconds later you're upside down, and that literally is the reality of it.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined about. There's so many trades in a day when you're on this time frame that there's just no reason to force one and make it.
Really. That's why y'all try to limit your time trading to an hour a day.
Yep.
And Tim obviously doesn't even wait that long. He hits the beach, probably 30 minutes after the market over. And so you got to do. And also the other thing, I don't know why more people don't think about this, but you have a kid, and he graduates high school, and you want him to go to college. You want him to. Either you're going to have to pay for it, he's going to have to borrow a bunch of money. 4 years later, he's going to get out, he's going to owe a fortune, he's going to have a miserable life for the rest of his life, try to pay that back. When all you got to do is sign him up for this course, either any of these courses, give him a couple $1,000, a lot cheaper than going to college. And like I said earlier, $2,000, you make 6% per week. These guys make over 140 a week. And in 24 months, they've got $800,000. Then they can go to college and waste all the time they want. They can go there, sleep, and have a safe room and everything. They have multiple safe rooms, whatever they want to do. And people don't do that, because they think they can't become wealthy. They think that that they cannot become wealthy, and it's a real mindset problem. I think. So, well, that's my lecture for the day.
Hey, we need to record that. Joe just said the word mindset. You're emotional on us, Joe.
No, I didn't invent that word. It's been around. Keith, Mike is our micro moment trading linguist. Is that what you call it? Yeah. And he comes up with snuffed and a number of words. You don't want to get snuffed in a trade. Snuff's not good.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to pansy out either. Pansy.
Keith, it looks like you're doing some trades over there.
Yeah, trying to follow the market here. I've done a couple of these actually virtual ones on these new technique that I'm doing. So trying to track those, but I did Apple and an IWM one here this morning. So
what we could do on those sessions that you do a micro moment, and Keith too, we could just have this service on and they'd be watching you, Now I know you wouldn't like it. You're so emotional.
Oh, that's true.
You're so emotional in your trades and stuff like that.
Yeah, and some days I trade shirtless. So I don't know if they would like that.
Well, we have a girl named Marion who's been with us forever, and she trades in the nude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful, not to weird anybody out, but it's a powerful, I don't know. It feels nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Without giving too much away, would you be willing to give us a little preview of of what you're working on, just without giving anything away?
Yeah, it's a momentum trade, but it's my long-term momentum trades that I had been doing. I pretty much just went out anywhere from 2 weeks to a month out. But with all these quick gap moves in the market, it just didn't want to be in them overnight. So that's why I changed to the short term. But as it turns out, if you go out like 2 to 3 months expiration out, there's still enough volume in options out there, and I can be in these trades for 26 days or something. So I don't have to be in quick. And just a couple examples, the Apple ones that I was looking at, unfortunately, it was only up about 400% during that time frame. The IWM one was a little bit lower. It was like up 120%. SPX was up, or SPY, I guess I was trading, was up about 140%. It's crazy. And just following my charts that I use, and I'm looking at the charts to be able to make that determination. And okay, so it gaps a little bit in the each or a couple days or a few days, maybe a week. It doesn't matter. They're just a small blip on that, just a small blip compared to the longer scheme of things, and just following the momentum on that thing. And plus, then you don't have to be glued to your monitor and doing that trade. So, and you could stagger your exits. Even staggering your exits, you'd be up about 100% a month. So,
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I'm looking at doing there.
Awesome.
There's a question I'll answer. This one from Chuck. How many trades, minimum, average, max per hour during one of the sessions? I'm sure you're referring to macro moment. Today, for example, there were 11 trades, and 64.37% on those 11 trades. And then yesterday, Wednesday, there were 6 trades, and Micah and Tony are just trading QQQ and Apple. Occasionally, they'll go into Microsoft if it's really slow on the QQQs and Apples. But no, anywhere. Some days there's not a trade. Some days it's just nothing there, and there's not a trade. It's not unusual to have. Usually a Monday they have no trades on a Monday, but we still get the 140-something% a week return. So I hope that answered your question. Here's Martha. I try to tell people how easy it is, and they think I'm either lying or being lied to. Too good to be true, but it is true. Yeah, and it's always a problem, and we've got a solution to that. We are opening up a company account traded on TradeStation. Micah and Tony are going to be trading that account, because that account we can audit. We can't audit their personal accounts because they got all of this stuff in there, but other personal stuff. We wouldn't do that. But we will be doing an audit, that's like quarterly, or I don't know how they're going to do it, monthly, whatever it is, depending on what the cost is of that account. So you'll actually see those trades audited. So Martha, that's going to be the absolute solution. And we'll put those on the internet. It won't make any difference, once they're audited, because you can't. It's not like we give away the service doing that, because you can't do those past trades. So it's not like at the moment. So yeah, and
all you can say to him, Martha, is like we have this problem from everyone. They don't. It's real, or in many forms. But you just switched to live trading. And you had 2 really big trades today that was live, and then it was switched to paper and did another one. So, I mean, your live trades are happening. So like all you can do is you don't have to convince them of anything. And we're not going to tell you to go out and convert them to our way or anything. Just enjoy it for yourself. And if they want to, partake, eventually they will. But
the other part of it is too, they can do it virtually. They don't risk anything. A long time ago, when Keith first started with us, virtual trading was not very efficient. The platforms were not very good. So we suggest you just take a small, say if you got, whatever, take $1,000, $2,000 and just use that and see if you can be successful. And but now virtual trading, they give you around $100,000, and you can virtual trade, which is exactly like it's live, and it's exactly like the real thing. And if you can make it virtually, then switch to real money. So for people to say that, they're stupid and ignorant. It shouldn't even be alive. When they make those kind of statements, but it's because they're losers in their own mind. They don't think they can do anything because they're born losers. And you just have to admit it. I hate to be so frank, but anyhow.
Come on, Joe. Tell us what you really think.
It's true. You see it all the time. You see it all the time. So, is simple as a lot of this trading is that we do. It's easy to say that, but there are some people, Joe, that probably just shouldn't be trading. Absolutely, yeah.
And maybe they fall in that scenario. But if you really want to take control of your finances and do something about it, take the time to learn how to do any of these techniques and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other reason you shouldn't convince them that it is real necessarily is because if they came on, they'd probably lose still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it can't, like they're saying, it can't be that simple.
Yeah.
Then what are they going to do in their mind? Overcomplicate it, stay in too long, break the rules because it can't be that simple,
yeah.
and they're going to lose. And then they're going to be right because they lost. Oh, told you so. And it's just a self-fulfilling cycle. It's terrible.
Well, and the other thing is because our returns are so high, I can see what people say, well, but things have changed. I mean, look at the whole investment market, the brokerage and all that's changing because it's all out of date. Your main Wall Street firm still is 100 years behind. And I used to be with Merrill Lynch, and they never change anything. Everything's always suspicious. Try to change something, and now they're going out of business, and all kinds of things are going to be happening because things are changing. People are taking control because of the internet again. We think of all the things that have changed because of the internet. And this business, this trading stuff, is the most beneficial, aspects of the internet. There's probably not any other industry, anything that's just benefited from the internet as much as what we do. Because you couldn't do, when I was with Merrill, you couldn't do this stuff. And I was in the Florida office in Miami Beach, and we had one broker in the whole Merrill Lynch organization in Florida that could trade options. One, that was it, just one. So nobody did it. You couldn't pull up the information. It didn't exist. And when I discovered that you could do it on the internet, and all of a sudden, these option change, all kinds of stuff began to come up. And then we developed the tools over 20 years to handle all this stuff. But it didn't exist before that. And obviously now it's popular. So, way to go. Yeah. But anyhow, so that's how I feel. I'm sticking with it. I saw something. I was reading, Tony, I was thinking of you. I was reading this article today, and it said that the millennials, you're a millennial, or you are something else?
I am. I believe.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm from the greatest generation. But anyhow, yeah. The millennials, talking to people like myself who severely criticize you when you do something stupid, the millennials have this saying now, and I never heard of it, but I've heard of it now. It's go boomer, go boomer. So like when I'm, really getting on to you about something, which I do all the time, all you got to do is say, hey, go boomer. That means, okay, boomer, we understand. We hear what you're saying, but we're not going to pay attention to it. Go boomer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, Keith, you got anything else left to say? We're 45 minutes into the seminar.
Yep. Nope. That's all I have. Yeah, I got a few extra words in because Randy wasn't here today. So
there you go. So, he's still sitting there with no power. I got another text from him. He still didn't have any power on. So, okay, very good. Well, thank you guys for being here, taking the time, and thanks everybody that's on here listening for being here. And check out again our site, www.micromomenttrading.com and www.compoundstockearnings.com. And you can register for the absolutely free cow report, and you can find out all about these guys and what they offer and all of that. And thanks for the ones that participated by sending in some comments today and questions. We appreciate that. And tomorrow, again, will be what's it going to be? What are we going to call Fridays? for macro moment?
I don't know. Those are a couple good names. We'll have to decide that tomorrow.
Like something in hand or something like that. But where people raise their little hands, and that really works well. It works well. Either you ought to use that because you use go to webinar, right?
Yeah.
No,
I used that back in the day with my brother. We called in a couple times.
Oh, I'm saying Keith ought to use that because he on those online seminars. You ought to use that.
Yeah.
Where they can ask questions.
I tried that this weekend, Joe, but I had no takers. I think they're all afraid of me or something. I don't know. They're afraid to raise their hand.
Okay. Well, you probably said things like I do, something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe so.
Okay. We'll see you guys. Thanks a whole lot.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
And thank you, Marcus. We appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.